What's up, everybody? This is the Tech Preacher. So I made a video a couple of days ago about the Rodecaster video, and I get this comment a lot about how do I edit my videos as far as rendering it, because I shoot all my videos in 1080p and I upscale it to 4K. Somebody asked me, could I explain how I do that? Also, how do I get this great audio? Because I do not use Adobe Audition anymore. So I have all my audio. And people ask me, why do I use two Rodecaster videos, and I use a Rodecaster Pro 2 and I use the Norman MT48. So in this video, which I probably had to break it down into parts, I'm gonna show you guys how do I edit and I upscale it to 4K after I record everything in 1080p. Also, I'm gonna talk about my audio. So let's have some fun. Sit back, relax, and get your popcorn ready and follow me on this journey. Let's go. What's up, guys? This is Zach back with another video. So check this out, right? As you can see here, I have two Rodecaster videos. I have the Norman MT48 and I have the Rodecaster Pro 2. Now, I want to talk about my audio because I don't use Adobe Audition anymore. And since I don't use Adobe Audition anymore, I want to have all my audio pre-processed before I even edit the video. And it took me a long time to get to this point, and it took a lot of trial and error to get my voice the way I like it, with heavy bass, that broadcast type voice, and not have so much sibilance and stuff like that. Yes, I'm using a Warm Audio 800G microphone here, and this microphone is going into the Norman MT48. So let me break all this down. Right now, I got two microphones. I have a Sennheiser 416 right above me. If I don't use this microphone, I use the Sennheiser 416. That's going in the Norman MT48. And the Warm Audio is going into the Norman MT48. Now, in the MT48, I got full processing going on right now. Then I have the output of the MT48 going into the Rodecaster Pro, with some processing, which I'm going to show you in this video. And then from the Rodecaster Pro 2 going into the Rodecaster video. Now, why do I have two Rodecaster videos? It's because of outputs. As you can see, I'm using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inputs on the Rodecaster video, number 1. And on number 2, I'm using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 input also. So I have 10 devices connected to a total of 10 devices connected. I have my Rodecaster Pro 2 going into the USB slot of the Rodecaster video, which I could do processing in the Rodecaster video, but I don't have no processing going on here. But I do have processing going on in both of these devices, which I'm going to talk about a little bit in this video. Okay, so let's talk about it. Mic 2. So I want to go into my preamp here, and I'm going to give you another view here. I got another view here. So in the Norman MT48, I'm using this preamp right here, which is this device got two preamps. And I'm about 26 dBs, as you can see. And so, which is the Warm Audio. Warm Audio don't need 48 volts of phantom power, so I don't have that in there, but I do have full processing. So let's talk about the processing here. And let's go first to the equalizer. And my equalizer goes like this, okay? I do have a low cut filter, right, to bypass all the rumbling noise and stuff like that. But I raise up a little bit here to kind of give me a little more broadcast sound, just to kind of bring up the bass a little bit in my voice. So I have that. And right here, I got a little bit down here on as far as the frequency at about 536 Hertz. I got the gain negative 0.07. And the reason why is because I wanted to get kind of dialed down a little bit on the mid. And over here, I got my high cut filter on, and I do have a high cut filter on. So I have a low cut filter and a high cut filter. Even though I'm in a treated environment, I still have a high cut filter and a low cut filter on. And so all of that's going on here. And that's my equalization part. Now, I do have it flat. I don't have no EQ kind of going up a little bit to add a little more presence boost, because I do have a little presence boost going on in the Rodecaster Pro 2, which I will show you also in this video. But yeah, so that's going to be my equalizer on the Norman MT48. So you may ask the question, why do I use the Norman MT48, right? Because the MT48 gives me good, clean preamps, good, clean sound, and I'm also recording two separate outputs here. I got one output going into my Zoom F8N Pro, which I record in all raw sound coming straight from the Norman MT48 for a backup, right? If something go on in this video and my audio cuts out, I got backup. So I do have the Zoom F8N Pro recording right now. These are my two outputs. One is going to the Rodecaster Pro 2, and one going into the Zoom F8N Pro, which is out of camera, by the way. All right, just so you know. But that's going to be my equalizer settings. All right, before I go to the Rodecaster Pro 2, let's go on to finish talking about some more of my presets here. I want to go to dynamics. In dynamics, I do have a gate. All right, so I got my gate at about 44 dBs, and I do have a limiter on, right? A limiter pretty much on auto gain. Don't have an issue with sound quality or whatever, but I do have a limiter on, and I do have my compression at 3.0.1, and I got a fast attack and release, pretty much fast attack and release. So that's going to be my compression. All right, so that's pretty much it for my equalization, compression, gate, everything on the Norman MT48. Now I have that full equalization and everything going into the Rodecaster Pro 2. Now, once I get into the Rodecaster Pro 2 and we get into some processing, here we go with some processing. I do have a high pass filter, again, another high pass filter going on, and I do have a de-esser. The Norman MT48 doesn't have a de-esser. I do have a sibilant voice, so I do have a de-esser on. As you can see, every time I say S or C or something like that, the de-esser kicks in, and that's exactly what I wanted to do. So especially when I'm using the Sennheiser 416, I need that de-esser. All right, so I got the de-esser on, and I got a noise gate. So this gonna be two noise gates. I got a light noise gate on the Norman MT48, and I have a light noise gate here on the Rodecaster Pro 2. So I got the noise gate on both of them. And the compressor, I do have a compressor on both. And my compressor here is 2 to 2.0, right? 2 to 1 ratio. And I do have a fast attack and a fast release on this compressor on the Rodecaster Pro 2. So I have two compressors. Again, I've tuned this to my perfection, the way I wanted to sound. So I worked very hard to try to get this right, and it works for me. All right, so let's go to the next one. It's the equalizer. Now I do have the equalizer just a little bit, again, on the bassier side. Again, for some strange reason, I love that broadcast voice, right? So I add a little touch of bass on the Norman MT48, and I add a little touch of bass on the Rodecaster Pro 2. But I took away some of the mids on the Rodecaster Pro 2, again, kind of lowering the mids a little bit and stuff like that. But I did add a little presence boost on the Rodecaster Pro 2. So I do have a little presence boost on this part and going from there. So that's my equalizer. Now, the exciter, the Aphex processing, I do have a little big bottom, again, adding some more of that, broadcast sound, and I'm driving it about 40%. Again, if I drive it even more, I think it's going to be too much overpowering. Some people might say it's overpowering, but I haven't got any complaints. I actually love the way it sounds, so I got it that way. And I got my tune and my harmonics up a little bit. I do want that good presence. I do want that good high-end signal. So what I do is I kind of add that up a little bit, and that's going to be in the Rodecaster Pro 2. Okay, and I do have a high-pass filter and a low-pass filter on the Rodecaster Pro 2. All right, and again, this is all going into the Rodecaster video. All right, so as you can see, that's going to be the audio. And one of the reasons why I did this is because I was paying for Adobe Edition, right? And I've been paying for Adobe Edition for years. And it's a monthly fee. Like every month you're paying and paying and paying. I make a lot of videos. I don't have no problem with paying for it. But if I could get the same type of audio out of these two devices and I don't have to go in and I don't have to do any type of editing and stuff like that, then I'm good with that. So that's one of the reasons why I have it the way I have it. But how do I go from 1080p to 4K? Let's go down and go to DaVinci Resolve. Let me see if I can do that. All right. So I'm in DaVinci Resolve, right? What I do is I would take my SSD out of my Rodecaster video and I go to my Mac Studio. This is the Mac Studio. And I have DaVinci Resolve. I have the studio version of DaVinci Resolve, which is the paid version, right? And so I do two things, right? And in DaVinci Resolve, you could do what's called super scale. All right. Now, if I want my video sharp as a tack, I want everything just nice and beautiful and sharp as a tack, and I got a lot of time, I will go super scale. Now, what super scale does, it enhances the sharpness and reduce the noise reduction, and it makes the video just look so crispy, right? It makes it looks really good, right? Even though it's shot at 1080p, but if you go super scale, it will just enhance the video. Now, here's the good and the bad. The good is that your video is going to be super sharp, right? It's going to be beautiful. But it takes a long time to render. Now, if you have a powerful computer like me, it takes a short time, maybe about half an hour. But if you don't have a fast processing device, it's going to take a few hours just to do super scale. It's going to take a long time. And also in my audio, when I go to DaVinci Resolve, I do add voice isolation. All right. So I do add voice, and I don't have to use voice isolation, by the way, because I'm using gates on both of my devices, but I still put on voice isolation. And I have it about 50%. And so that kind of completes my whole audio chain by adding a little voice isolation, and I have gates on everything else, and it kind of works great in my favor, and it sounds good. And listen, I watch my videos over and over and over, and I absolutely love the way it sounds. So, but I do add voice isolation. And it sounds good when you add voice isolation. What that does is it eliminates background noise, and it kind of give you more of a gate, but it's more like an AI type stuff, right? And it works good. Now, yes, I am in a treated environment, but I do have lights all around me, and all my lights have fans. So it does have a little whistle, not too high, but none of my Macs have is noisy. None of my devices are noisy. So my room is very treated because I've got sound blankets all around me, and I got treated walls and stuff like that to prevent, the echoing and stuff like that. So my studio is relatively quiet. All right, I'm in DaVinci Resolve, right? I have my sound, I have my camera footage or whatever. Now my audio is all mixed up here. I do not have to separate my audios because it's all sound good. Which sometimes I do separate the audio just to hear how the audio sound versus HDMI audio. But in most cases, I always usually just stick with the HDMI audio. And the reason why is because I have the normal MT48 and the Rodecaster Pro 2 all going into the Rodecaster video. So that's how the sound. But before I render, and that's the most important part here, and before I render, I go into my settings. As you can see, my timeline is at 1080p, okay? So before I render my video, I would just raise my timeline to 4K, or you can raise it to 8K if you want to, right? You can either 4K or 8K, but I go to 4K, and I would save it. All right. And then when I'm ready to render my video, once I do all that, my format is 4K. okay, and H.264, and it works out great, right? I used to render in QuickTime, and QuickTime gave me a large file. Sometimes it'd be like 50, 60 gigs. But I found that, you know, with YouTube compression and everything, MP4 is about what I use, which is really nice. It works great, no issues there. And then when I go to my audio tab, is this really constant bit rate. And reason why is because I want to have a constant bit rate, right? So I want my audio to be as high as I can make it at this standard. And my normalization is going to be YouTube. And the reason why is because I post most all my videos on YouTube. So they have a YouTube standard and a normalized standard just for YouTube. And so that's going to be it. And once I finish that in DaVinci Resolve, I add a title and I add it to the queue. And once I add it to the queue, I am good to go. If you have any other questions, any kind of videos, any kind of breakdowns that you want me to do with my audio or with the way I run my studio, please leave it down in the comments below. I'm more than welcome to make these videos because guess what? At the end of the day, this video will help people. And you know what? Let's go down and listen to that Sennheiser 416 before I get out of here so y'all guys can hear how the Sennheiser 416 sound in this type of environment. So this is going to be the Sennheiser 416, okay? And maybe I have to turn that down a little bit. All right, so this is going to be the Sennheiser 416 connected to the, the normal MT48 going into the Rodecaster video. Now, again, this is the sound quality that I always get when I'm using the Sennheiser 416. And so, yeah. That's how it's going to sound. This so y'all guys can hear how it sounds. All right, that's enough. This is the Tech Preacher. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think about my audio chain and how I render my videos in all its glory. See you guys on the next video. Peace.